Welcome, everybody, to the CFL Weekly Pick'em Show. We're at the final week, week 20. The CFL Weekly Pick'em Show is brought to you by MyBookie.ag. Make sure you go on MyBookie.ag. You can hit CFB Picks as a promo code and get 100% cash bonus back. I'm your host for the CFL Show, Mike Goodpaster. Right now, I want to welcome in my co-hosts. First up, Oz Davis, who I know plays MyBookie.ag all the time.
Yeah, and the Blue Bombers screwed me this week, I got to say. I had a beautiful 4-team teaser, and they messed it all up. I got 3 out of 4 perfect, and couldn't depend on the Bombers. Keep that up,
you get to find a real job, Oz.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm playing big money at MyBookie.ag, let me tell you.
Yeah, it was $100K each game, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. You know that guy that had $14 million riding on Game 7 in the World Series? That was me.
No, okay. I thought maybe it was. And, of course, we've got Brian Schmidt. How you doing, Schmitty?
Doing good. Driving in the vast wilderness that is Kansas.
Where are we driving in Kansas, Schmitty?
I'm in Emporia, Kansas at the moment, on my way to Iowa.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. And
no,
we've got and we've got 4-time Grey Cup champion from Syracuse University, who's going to pull an upset win over Florida State this week, Robert Drummond. How you doing, Robert?
Doing pretty good, as always, and you're right about my Syracuse Orangemen. They've been playing quite well the last 2 games, so hopefully they can keep it up. I like that Coach Babers a lot. He's a lot like Coach Matthews, where he expects the players to be men. They're young boys, but if you act like men, you treat you like men, and that's one thing we always expected about Coach Matthews.
Yeah, and you go to MyBookie.ag, you get them in like 5.5 or 6 points right now, which I think is a steal. But because I think they're going to win the game straight up.
So do I.
All right, let's start off. Ottawa and Hamilton. And Ottawa played from behind much of the game. The Red Blacks overcame 5 offensive turnovers to defeat the Hamilton Ticats 41-36, thanks in part to nearly 500 all-purpose yards from Deontay Spencer and 2 touchdown performances from William Powell and Jerron Kreiner. That's fairly impressive, Robert.
That's very impressive. Ottawa, at any time, one thing in football that really destroys you, psychologically is a self-inflicted wound, and I do that. And by that I mean, turnovers, penalties, interceptions. You can't do that. Don't beat yourself. For Ottawa to go out there and win this game in the fashion they did, but that be turnovers, it says a lot about how talented they can be if they put it together. So it was an impressive win. From top to bottom.
Yeah, and something impressive for Hamilton. Jeremiah Masoli, Brian, 4 touchdown passes, 32 for 46, 438 yards. Has he put himself in the conversation to possibly be the starting quarterback next year for the Ticats?
I think he's got to be at this point. He's putting up numbers. Safe to say the run and shoot philosophy is suiting him well, and obviously he's getting immersed in at least the system up to this point. He's definitely got to be putting himself in there. He's put up numbers. This was a guy that we all at one point, anytime this guy was starting, it was automatically put Hamilton down for a loss, and now he's turning himself into a real good CFL quarterback.
And if you look at Ottawa's put themselves in position, in great position. If Toronto was to lose this week, Oz, Ottawa wins the division. They got a bye week, and then they would get a home game.
And then they get the Grey Cup at home.
Yeah.
Plus they had the bye week the week before last, and they had a home game this week. They don't have to leave home for like a month and a half. And like Robert was saying last week, he took the Tiger Cats in this game because he said all the pressure's on Ottawa. Well, now all the pressure's on Toronto. Toronto was going to BC, and I don't believe Toronto is as good a football team as Ottawa is right now.
All right, we'll find that out in the next couple weeks anyways, for sure. The Saskatchewan Roughriders rolled to their 10th win of the season in great style because, of course, they're playing the Montreal Alouettes as they gave the Alouettes yet another loss, 37-12 at Mosaic Stadium. Oz, the Alouettes still suck.
Yeah, I mean, okay, fine. But, it's sad to see, this is Nick Lewis's last game. And, it's this total nothing thing. Nick almost got a pass picked off in the touchdown in the end zone by Drummond Carter, who had another great game. And I just wanted to say it was good that the Alouettes made Trent Richardson look good. He scored 2 touchdowns, his first 2 CFL touchdowns in this game. So I'm glad there's only one week left for this Alouette season, and I'm sure lots of other players do too.
Yeah, and the Saskatchewan team, Robert, we've been talking about it for over a month now. They're a huge threat when they get into the playoffs. And Trent Richardson, is this a product of just playing against Montreal? Or do you think Trent Richardson's starting to get his legs a little bit here in the CFL? He had 20 carries, 127 yards, 2 touchdowns.
It takes time. Trent Richardson's starting to get his legs right now and be able to, be the capable running back that he is. They got him drafted, first round of the NFL draft, So it takes time. It took time for me. It took time for Mike Pringle. It took time for Mike Saunders. You have to learn the Canadian Football League game, because it's a lot different than the NFL game or even the college football game played in the States. So once you get your legs underneath you, once you understand, the quickness of it, the up and down, the 25, the game clock is much faster than a collegiate or NFL game clock. The game becomes, the game comes to you a lot easier. So it's a good sign.
All right, Brian, you there? I think we lost Brian. Well, we'll continue on then. My question for Brian, I'll give this to Oz or Robert, whoever wants it. When you look at Saskatchewan, you got Brandon Bridge, 10 for 15. Kevin Glenn, 7 for 14, 2 touchdowns. Bridge threw an interception. Is there a quarterback controversy here going into the playoffs, Oz?
No, I think Chris Jones is using the old-fashioned CFL platoon system. There have been a couple of teams in the past that have gotten away with this, that have worked it to their advantage. I think that Jones particularly isn't in love with either one of these guys, so he's just moving them back and forth. He's just letting each of them do what they do best. And it's fine. I was highly skeptical. What is he doing every game? Starting Durant and then going to Bridge. What is he doing every game? But there is a method to the madness. I think it's a good plan. I like it.
Coach Matthews used to always tell us, if it's not broken, stop trying to fix it. And that's what he means. If a system's working, use it. Run it into the ground. Until it doesn't work. Right now, it's working.
All right, that brings us to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers against the BC Lions. Jonathan Jennings led the Lions to a 36-27 road victory over the Winnipeg Blue Bombers on Saturday. Threw for 408 yards, 4 touchdowns. And basically his big difference was the difference in a back-and-forth game where the Bombers, this is huge, Oz, lost both Matt Nichols and Andrew Harris to injury.
Yeah. Season's over. Nichols, coach said on Monday at press conference, or on his radio show, on the radio, I believe, he said that, so Nichols isn't going to play week 20. We're in the playoffs, so that's good enough. Their other injury, he participated in practice on Monday, but only partially. I don't know what he did yesterday. But he got a concussion. He took a helmet-to-helmet hit, did Andrew Harris. And I'm not sure that this guy will be 100% within, the next 3-4 weeks. That was a vicious hit. This dude got up, and he was punchy. He did not look good after that hit. And so even if he does play this week, which I think would be foolish if he did, he's still listed as questionable, he's not going to be 100%, I think, through the playoffs. So yeah. I think the Bombers are pretty much done. I don't think they can go into Edmonton or Saskatchewan and win right now. So I think they're over.
Schmidt, do you agree with him?
If they've got Nichols back, that gives them a shot. But that's a huge blow. Both of those injuries is a huge blow, and Harris, especially with the concussion. That's one that he could be back in 2 weeks. He could be back in 3 weeks. He could be not back at all. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But having Nichols, they get Nichols back, it always gives them a shot because he has shown to be a pretty top flight quarterback this year.
Yeah, and Robert, I would think there's no sense in putting Harris or Nichols out there this week.
No, there's no. I mean, the one thing, and you would, and I've been interviewed by Toronto Star and papers this week up there because Harris actually had a chance to go 1,000, which I almost hit in '97. Before my injury, I missed 3 games. And I ended up playing in the last game just to get myself in shape. But I mean, I wasn't effective enough in that game or anything. But I was looking forward to him possibly having a shot at doing something that just shows how complete of a back he is and how good he is. Team with Nichols, they could have did some major damage going to the playoffs. But I always prided myself on being what I call a hybrid. Someone who could be a very, very good receiver, out of the backfield or line up a wide receiver, or a very, very good running back. And that was my moniker. That's what made me, a talented player. That's what I would always, or the coaches would always show me the stats, at the end of the week of how I was leading in all-purpose yardage, from receiving and rushing. And I was like, that's cool. Are we winning? Yeah. I was like, then I'd be like, all right, that's all I care about. And I would have loved to have seen him, at least break that record, or see, especially being a Canadian player also. That would have been pretty cool, but it seems like it's not going to happen. But as I told the papers the other day, records are meant to be broken, so eventually somebody's going to get it someday. We're along the line. I'm hoping I'm alive enough to congratulate that young man, whoever gets it.
All right, good enough. Last game of the week, a 2-touchdown performance from receiver Darius Bowman led the way for the hometown Edmonton Eskimos as they downed the Calgary Stampeders 29-20. I don't think this game really tells us much either way about either team. I mean, I don't think Calgary is very interested right now. I think they're just trying to get to the playoffs healthy, even though Bo Levi Mitchell did start. No cause for concern here, is there, Robert?
No cause for concern at all. Calgary knows they're healthy. They know they got that first week bye, so they're right now they're in playoff mode, preparing for their team that has to win. They get a chance to actually play against them. So there's no cause for concern at all.
Yeah, and I don't even really know what else I have to ask here because, I mean, Edmonton beat Calgary, but it wasn't Calgary, if you know what I mean.
Well, can I? Okay, I can get in here. I can get in here. I kind of disagree that it didn't reveal anything about both these teams. I think it revealed a lot about the Eskimos. I think that finally, for the first time since week 1, they have not necessarily a full team, but at least a team that is in place and that they like and that is solid and that they can run with for 2 or 3 weeks. You know what I mean? I mean, all season long they've been mixy-matchy the pieces, and I think now they've been running with guys for 3 or 4 weeks, and I think it shows. I think the Eskimos are scarier now than they have been all season.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I think we've known this was coming for a couple weeks, and I just said that just basically because we know Calgary. Well, Calgary's never going to lay down. I mean, it wasn't a game. It wasn't nearly as important to Calgary as it was to Edmonton, Brian.
No, and this is really a true example of one team that already knows they're in the playoffs. They're getting in their playoff mode. They're making sure they're healthy, and then you've got Edmonton that is already in the mindset that this game is a playoff game. So you see that difference, but. Once we get to the playoffs, if they're both playing each other, they're both going. You're going to see Calgary be a different team, and the outcome may be different. I mean, but this game really wasn't. It really wasn't a thing that Calgary was really worried about.
All right, so that brings us to the games for the final week of the regular season, Week 20. We'll start off with tomorrow night, the Montreal Alouettes at the Hamilton Tiger Cats. I'll start this off. I think I'm going to go with Hamilton. Oz, what do you think?
Here's what I think. I waited until that line opened. I saw that it was only 13.5, and I jumped on it. So, I like Hamilton by more than 2 touchdowns. Sure, they're playing angry.
All right, Robert.
I got to go with Hamilton. Those guys are playing for jobs next year. They want to impress this coach right now going into next season. They want to leave a lasting impression, so I got to definitely go to Hamilton. And Montreal is a train wreck.
Brian?
Hamilton. Montreal is the Cleveland Browns of the CFL right now.
So they're not that bad. They won a couple games.
We were dominant last decade. I mean, Not the
last
Cleveland
decade. Well, for a few decades, just nothing recent.
Yeah,
right,
not in the last 7-8 years.
All right, that brings us to the next game, which is important for one of the two teams. We've got the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, who must win to host a playoff game at the Calgary Stampeders. I assume Calgary's sitting everybody. And it looks like Winnipeg, is sitting a few guys also, Schmidt.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting just because you got one team that needs to win to have a home game, but yet at this point, I don't know that that's a big motivating factor considering with the injuries and everything else. And I'm still going to go with Winnipeg in this because Calgary is going to sit everybody. They're not worried about this game, but it's a really hard game to pick, especially depending upon if Nichols plays or not.
All right, Oz.
I think if you're going to put the Calgary second string against the Winnipeg second string, I'll take the Calgary second string. No joke. I'll take the Stampeders in this game.
Yeah, but the one thing you do have, though, is you've got Winnipeg starters, except for a couple guys against Calgary's second team.
Well, except for a couple of skilled players. And look, even if you have the whole starting Winnipeg Bombers team, I mean, this is a defense that gives up 4 touchdowns a game anyway on their best day. So I still think Calgary's going to beat them. I don't think they're going to exclusively play their second string because they will have a bye week coming up. And what they've done in the past is they do play the first string for the first half. So you will see the starters.
I'm going to go with Winnipeg also. It's just, I mean, there's no pressure on Calgary at all. They're already in the playoffs. But the whole mindset of when you're already in the playoffs of the game as a player, I mean, what's the important goal? The important goal is getting to the playoff. Is not to get hurt, and that's what you think about, and that's when you get hurt, and players know that. So, I mean, it's just Winnipeg's more hungry in this game. They can get a home field game. If they win this game. So I think just Winnipeg will come out with that much more intensity than Calgary. For right now, this is a game Calgary just would go away. Because it's not going to change their position. It changes Winnipeg's big time.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with both of them, and I'm going to go with Winnipeg also, Oz. The next game, the Edmonton Eskimos. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, Oz. Edmonton Eskimos. I know. Edmonton Eskimos at Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan, with a win, which is third in the West Division, will play in the Western semifinal against Winnipeg on November 12th, and Edmonton would cross over. So this is a big game. Which team needs this win more, Oz?
Well, Edmonton wants it more because, look, if Edmonton gets that first game at home, they'll win. Period. End of story. But I'll tell you what, my man crush, and I'm going on record right now, my man crush right now is Chris Jones, man. I love what the Riders are doing. I love how Drummond switched to the defensive side and can play ball. I love the platoon at quarterback. I love this fleet of wide receivers. I think Jones wants to beat everybody right now. So I'm going to take the Riders in this game. At home, you bet. I'm going to take the Riders in this game.
All right, so we're going to pick this game too, Schmidt, but I got a question for you. Have you ever had a man crush on another man?
No, I never have.
Robert, how about you?
Neither have I. So
yeah, neither have I. So, but he's the one from California.
Just an expression.
When he said that, I kind of cringed, and I didn't know if it was a cold chill or if it was what he said. I'm pretty sure it was what he said though.
Well, what he said will give you a cold chill.
Yeah. All right. So
you got Edmonton or Saskatchewan, Brian?
I was having such a hard time with this whole man crush thing. I forgot who I was picking. I'm going to go with. I'm going to agree. Not because of the man crush thing, but I'm going to agree at Saskatchewan. I think Edmonton is going to want this more, and I really would like to go with them, but Saskatchewan's playing at such a high level right now. I don't see them backing off, and so I'll give them the nod.
All right, I'm going to go with Saskatchewan also, and I would like to bring up the fact that, like, week 4 or week 5, I bet like $5 on them to win like 120 if they win the Grey Cup. So I just wanted to bring that up. Robert, man crush aside, who are you picking in this game?
I'm going to be a little different here. I'm going to go with Edmonton. I think Riley just finds a way to show that he's the best quarterback in the CFL.
All right. Oz, did you pick this one yet? Oh, yeah, you had the man crush.
Ryder.
Next game, Toronto Argonauts at the British Columbia Lions. The Argonauts, with a win, will win the East Division. So they definitely need this one. BC's played a lot better lately, especially Jonathan Jennings. Robert, who do you like in this one?
Toronto. With all that pressure.
Good. Go ahead. You gave one of the Schmidt answers. It sounded like it was going to be one word. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Toronto as well. They're in a big game. Need this. They're gonna come out firing, and I think Ricky Ray just has done such a great job. So I think this is one that they're going to win and win the East and get to the playoffs, and they could be a very scary team in the playoffs.
All right, Oz. You got a man crush on either one of these teams, players or coaches?
Nah. Well, S.J. Green was my favorite player. I guess he still is again because I don't like anybody on my.
Is it a man crush or your favorite player? There's a difference.
Nah, just my favorite player.
Okay, so your man crush is just Chris Jones. All right.
Yeah, right now you can only have one man crush at a time, I think. I think
if you're actually a man, you can't have any man crushes, but
it used to be.
See, Robert agreed with me, and he's won 4 Grey Cups, so what he says goes.
But it used to be you, Mike. Are you sad?
Huh?
It used to be you.
Well, I can understand that a little bit, but
right. Okay. I'm gonna go BC. Toronto had the bye week, yes, sure, but I really like the way the Lions are playing with no pressure on them. I think Toronto is. Yep, I think they're going to succumb to the pressure. This is what Robert suggested last week. Now, really, all the pressure is on Toronto. This is do or die. If they want that higher seed, they have to win this game. But I think they're going to lose it.
All right, I hate to do this, guys, but I'm going to agree with Oz. I think BC is going to win this game, too. I don't know why. It's just a feeling. It's not because I have a man crush on any of them, because I only like women.
And Jonathan Jennings or anyone? I mean,
no man crush on Jonathan Jennings.
Solomon Elamimian.
What was that?
Solomon Elamimian. Yeah, man crush on him. He'll crush you. Yeah, you could. He'll crush you, for sure.
Okay, Oz. All right, the show's getting a little creepy, so we're going to go ahead and wrap it up for this week. Brian, do you have any final words?
All I'm saying is get out of this show as quickly as possible, because this whole man crush thing has changed everything. So we need to roll out of this quick.
All right, Robert.
In an era where Bruce Jenner becomes Caitlyn Jenner, I agree. Get out of this show as quick as you possibly can, because it's starting to get a little.
And the thing is, Oz back in 1976 had a man crush on Bruce Jenner too.
Now it's getting
no way.
Which turns out to be almost a woman. So what the hell? That's not that bad, Oz.
Thanks, Mike. I'm glad for your approbation there.
Do you have any final words, Oz?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that the Grueling Truth is sponsored by the Rainbow Coalition. You'll be hearing from them. No, just
as long as they make us go viral so more people know about us, I'm good with it.
Right, there you go. We're down with the Rainbow Coalition. No, seriously, folks. I mean, look, the man crush thing is just an expression, you guys. Don't get creeped out. It just means I really admire the guy, and I like what he's doing right now. And as far as I'm concerned, he can do no wrong right now. You know, it's like a Belichick thing. You know, I'm a believer.
This just went downhill fast.
Yeah,
I'm a believer.
Stop while you're almost ahead.
Went downhill fast.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I would say stop while you're a little bit behind, but that probably wouldn't work out either.
Cute. I get it. Yeah.
All right, guys, I want to remind you to go to mybookie.ag, put in CFB picks, NFL picks. You get a 100% cash bonus. You can go to thegruelingtruth.net. Just click the banner also. You can follow us on Twitter @GruelingTruth. So for Oz Man Crush Davis, Brian Schmidt, Robert Drummond, I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been listening to The Grueling Truth, where the legends speak.